Hello, this is SpudGunner51, and this is my 90s rant on annoying 90s kids. So lately I've noticed on Facebook, YouTube, especially on YouTube recently, I had some thing about Internet Explorer. No one likes Internet Explorer. Anyway, basically about all this 90s nostalgia that we wish we had, you know, that we all miss. You know, they had Tamagotchis, that kind of crap. And what annoys me is that they have all these kids that sit there and they're like, oh, well, I was born in 95, and so that qualifies me as a 90s kid. Or some kid born in like 97, you're like, why? You know, you're like, do you remember anything? No. And you know, and then there's like, you go on Facebook, there's like 50 different things saying 90s kids only, you know, only 90s kids would understand this. You know, and so I'm on one right now, it says, things 90s kids realize. You know, there's something like Star Fox, some random 90s movie. Something from all that. Bunch of VHS tapes. And it annoys me so much, because you have all these kids commenting about these things. They're like born in the late 90s and stuff, and like, ooh, I'm a 90s kid. But I don't think you can really consider yourself a 90s kid if you're born in the 90s. You know, it's like, well, you're born in the 90s. I was born in 93. I do remember some stuff from the 90s. Do I consider myself a 90s kid? No. Because I was only 7 in 1999. I remember a decent amount of things. You know, I remember watching the, some of the older Nickelodeon stuff. Remember watching that. Remember watching Doug, getting up at Saturday morning to go watch that on TV. Watching Doug, watching, what else? Bobby's World, remember watching that. Pepper Ann, which I remember watching that. Like, no one knows that when I mention it. But, remembering some music, you know, some Blink 182 stuff. But otherwise, you know, I don't consider myself a 90s kid. Because my entire, like, teenage years, 2000s. Not 90s. So, when you have all these kids out there saying, ooh, I'm a 90s kid, born in 1999, I'm such a 90s kid. Or like, oh, well, I was born in 1999, but, we still like VHS tapes at my house and stuff, you know, and you're like, that doesn't, you know, I don't even care if that counts or not. I'm just getting sick and tired of people posting all this stuff. You know, and they're like, oh, well, we had the Nintendo 64, and this, and like, that's like all they ever mention. We had the Nintendo 64. No one mentions PS1. Or the Dreamcast. No. They're like, well, back in my day, kids weren't all hooked on electronics. It's like, maybe not as much, but we had Game Boys. I remember some of my friends had Game Boy Colors. You know. I had a PS1. I still have my PS1. Still works. Love it. You know, they have that, and then, also the N64, you know, I played, Zelda, you know, Ocarina of Time, you know, I played that, but, I don't know, it just annoys me when there's all these people saying, I'm a 90s kid, but you know what, you're a 2000s kid. Your childhood was not spent in the 90s, it was spent in the early 2000s. You may remember stuff from the 90s, but your entire childhood was mostly spent in the 2000s. So please, stop with all the stuff about the 90s on Facebook. I'm tired of getting requests for it. I'm tired of my friends posting stuff about it. I don't want to hear about it anymore. Because guess what? It's the year 2013. Okay? Okay, so you know what? I liked Nirvana. I liked some older bands. I liked Green Day when they were still good back in the 90s. But, move on, people. I'm tired of hearing about it. Especially from the younger generation. Thank you.